My name is Graham K. Miles, and I'm the frontman for a Vancouver death metal band named 13 Goats. We play an eclectic, over-the-top blend of different metal subgenres. We write songs about whatever the fuck we want, and please listen to our shit. We're a Canadian metal band, but all of our members have roots in Eastern Europe, in the former Soviet Union. 2 of our members are Russian, one's Armenian, and I'm Ukrainian. So all of us have strong feelings about what's happening right now, and we would encourage the people in Ukraine to continue fighting and to maintain their spirit and their bravery. There's 2 meanings to the name 13 Goats. One of them is really highbrow and one of them is really lowbrow. The high concept name is that our mascot is this demonic time and space traveling Antichrist named Shepherd, and he wears a goat skull mask, and he has these 12 demon goats who follow him through the cosmos committing heinous acts of evil. They're like his infernal disciples, so together they're 13 goats and servants of the outer dark. The lowbrow reason behind the name is that Rob and I got trashed at a bar and started mashing together evil sounding numbers and evil sounding animals until we found something catchy. It was either going to be this or 666 wolves.
There's a point where you guys just kind of like, it was almost like a big dick measuring contest, wasn't it?
Kind of, yeah. There was a big point in the process of writing the first album, I think. It was sort of unspoken at the time, but we were all kind of like trying to outdo each other with riffs and like lyrical and like theatrical ideas for the songs.
Yeah, there's a healthy element of competition to it, I would say.
Definitely. And it was pretty, I think that's like what makes this first record like so special, is that
everybody brought their A game.
Everybody brought their A game on this record, for sure.
Yeah, because there's a bit of like thrashy stuff, and you know, what else? There's some deathcore stuff, and some, I guess there's some grindcore bits and some parts too.
Yeah.
One of the most important things for us when we were writing lyrics for this record was not to pigeonhole ourselves. We decided really early on that we didn't want to be a theme band, even though we had a concept. Lots of bands have mascots, but they don't stick to one particular topic lyrically. Iron Maiden has Eddie, but they write about, you know, everything from, you know, ancient Egyptian history to like, you know, popular sci-fi novels in the 20th century. So for us, we wanted to have that kind of artistic freedom, and even though we've got this sort of concept that unifies the band thematically, and we have this mascot that shows up in different videos and on our cover art, we really write about whatever the fuck we want whenever the fuck we want it, because that's kind of what metal's about. It's about freedom of expression and rebellion and not letting other people tell you what you should say or who you should be. Cover art for the album was done by Jeremy Famir, who's a Czech artist we connected with online. We asked him to do an abstract representation of Shepherd, our mascot, and his 12 demon goat disciples. And Jeremy came back with this, which, if you look at it, looks like just a single goat skull, but it's actually made up of 12 different goat skulls that all form one giant evil symbol.
Because I think it's actually really important that we own our own music, and then we can sell it ourselves to any label that we want, but we need to make sure that it's all owned by us. That way we don't get screwed over, just like Easy Eat It. That'd be silly. That would be silly.
Yeah, straight up. I mean, having the support of a label or a manager is really important, but not if they're taking advantage of us. So it's really important for us that if we do get in business with a larger organization, the terms are favorable to us and help us control our artistic output.
Probably old LPs which my mother came from Bulgaria, so it was different. It was classic rock, but the one I like most was a Queen. It was greatest hits for 70s, and this LP I listened to several years in a row without mixing with anything else, and it really kind of pushed me to play music.
Well, Leo, what got me into music? You know what? I figured, I got told that if you become a musician, it might make you a bit of a pussy magnet. But you know what? I wasn't expecting these 3 cunts. Even didn't see that coming at all.
I did not.
They should work as stand-up comedy, I guess.
What got me into music probably is my dad. was a drummer back in the 70s, and I remember like some of my earliest memories was like him in the basement of our house, like going to work on his Westbury kit. Like I can't remember like what it sounded like or anything like that, but my earliest memories were like sitting behind my dad's kit and listening to Zeppelin while driving around, and like Beatles and the Wings. Those were probably like my earliest influences, and what made me, and the bands that made me fall in love with music.
My dad got me into heavy music as well as just like sort of excited about music in general. I think the first album I borrowed from my dad was The Downward Spiral by 9 Inch Nails, and that really had a massive influence on the way that I wrote and the things that I wrote about from that point forward. There's a lot of things that I think we'd change about the music industry, but they all boil down to the same thing, which is that there should be more money for artists and less money going towards people who have nothing to do with writing the music that everyone wants. That's the product. Without that, the industry doesn't exist.
We didn't have any like major like live performance fails, but we did have, during like our sound check, we arrived late, and then the beginning of our sound check, right for our album release show, I couldn't get any sound of the amp I was playing out of, and all my strings started breaking. So I was kind of went into panic mode. But we had like 2 hours before we were playing again, so that was probably the biggest thing I've had close to a fail so far.
I think the most fucked up thing about that show was that the green room was a tiny little closet at the back of the venue that you had to go through the kitchen to get to, and it didn't have enough room for everybody's gear in it, let alone all the band members. Leo has this massive fucking drum kit, which has like a Neil Peart style tom or cymbal rack. And we had to dismantle the entire kit and carry it piece by piece through the kitchen of this like backwater bar into this tiny ass green room, and then play Tetris with the pieces. And then right before we went on stage to play our album release party, we had to bring it out piece by piece and assemble the kit on stage with the audience watching before we could start playing. So that was pretty embarrassing.
But I mean, it's like a 15-piece kit with 27 cymbals, so it looks badass metal, you know.
Yeah,
But
people just had to watch us put it together before we could play it.
A little bit of Lego before you get started.
Yeah.
Show went great though. I really like our new record.
Yeah, it kicks ass.
Yeah, that'd be the new music I'm listening to.
What else?
Let me think. New bands impress me. Summon in Village. It's a kind of American kind of death metal, a little bit similar to Black Dahlia Murder, but the debut album is really, really cool. Yeah, they haven't invented the wheel, but it sounds amazing.
Yeah, you played us some stuff by them. It was really good. I mean, this is the thing, right? Like, so many of our influences are these like older death metal and thrash metal bands, and we're trying to update that sound in a way that's uniquely our own. So we don't listen to a whole ton of modern progressive death metal. That's just a different thing than what we're doing.
Not that we're not open-minded, but we like what we like.
Bryan Adams sucks.
The Vancouver death and thrash metal scene is really thriving. There's a lot of really good bands that are known to some extent, either within the local community or beyond. We've had the good fortune to play shows with a lot of bands that we really admire and respect, and we count ourselves really lucky to be in the company of so many talented musicians. Now that this record's out, I think we're out for blood. I think we want to play as many shows and do as many tours and festivals as we possibly can, and then we're going to get back in the studio and record album number 2. In the meantime, make sure you listen to our current record, Servants of the Outer Dark, currently streaming on all major platforms, and give our music videos a watch. You can find us on the internet. Horns up. Woo!